Welcome to my 2024 list of 24 things I have stopped doing to help accomplish our family goal of living a much simpler, more minimalistic life. Ugh, I said the M word after swearing last year I would not become a minimalist. Okay, technically we are not minimalist, but we are certainly more trending that way. To help make that happen, we as a family, and me specifically, have taken some small steps that have added up to big changes. So, grab a drink or declutter alongside me while we go through this list. Now remember, these are in no particular order. First, I stopped subscribing to emails and texts just for discounts. When I thought about how many times I go to a website to look at something, let's take Wayfair for an example. I am met with a pop-up promising me a percentage off my next purchase if I just give them my email. Now look, I'll admit it. Their marketing works for me because it's a dopamine hit. Okay, it gets that part of my brain excited that goes, yay, reward. However, at this point, I have well over 40,000 in unread email, and most of those are for mailing lists I subscribe to but never acted on. And now I get their weekly, daily, and what feels like hourly emails and texts. I am looking at you, Joanne Fabric. Honestly, they are the worst when it comes to sending stuff. So when we're trying to cut down on the amount of stuff in our home, it just seemed counterproductive to continue subscribing to mailing lists for a product that I will likely never use. Number 2. Along those same lines, I turned off my social media notifications except for YouTube and all of my shopping notifications. Now, I do still order things that send me notifications in my email or text, like your order has shipped or it's been delivered, but I'm not constantly being bombarded with special deals on my phone from, say, Amazon or Target or Walmart. Number 3. I stopped walking the clearance aisle, and as a family, we adopted a new motto. If we would not buy it at full price, we will not be buying it just because it's on sale. Now, there is a caveat to this somewhat. We do still partake in Amazon Prime Days or Black Friday, but only for things we were already planning to buy. For example, this past fall, we were absolutely going to buy a new Roomba because our old one is on its last leg. In fact, it's dead now. It was getting close to Black Friday, and we knew that likely one would be on sale. So we waited a few weeks, and sure enough, one that met our needs went on sale, and we bought it. This is not the same thing as seeing an ad and saying, oh gosh, I need that Stanley Cup because it's on sale. I would never buy a Stanley Cup for full price, nor would I buy it on sale. This is just what works for my family. Now, before you come at me, I know Stanley Cups are absolutely amazing. I am not judging anyone who buys a Stanley Cup. If you want a Stanley Cup, go get you a Stanley Cup. It just happens to be something current, relatable, and it worked for my example. Number 4. I stopped buying items based on wants and switched to needs. Now, this was a hard one for me personally since I'm the primary purchaser in our home. I love pillows. I seriously love pillows and throw blankets. It previously was not uncommon for me to buy new pillows and throw blankets several times a year. We didn't need them. I just wanted them. They were cute and decorative, and who doesn't need to change out their pillows and throw blankets regularly? Same with t-shirts and pajamas. Why buy one shirt when you can buy 5 of the exact same shirt in different colors? You get the idea. Now, before I buy anything, it needs to pass the needs test. What am I specifically going to use this item for? Do I already have something that I can use in its place? And the big one, am I willing to wait a month and see if I still consider it a need? Most of the time when I wait, I find I never go back to purchase the item. Number 5. Now, this one may make a lot of people upset, but again, this is just my list and what works for my family. Subscription boxes. Look, I get the appeal. New clothes, new makeup, new cleaners, new toys, and let's not forget the educational boxes. I have subscribed in the past to so many of these boxes. And as far as I can recall, I never went on to buy the items that originally came in those boxes. My kid never really liked the arts and crafts and the toys, except for the zoo stuffed animals. And most of the time, I was locked in for a certain period of time before I could cancel. And I mean, let's not even talk about how many times I forgot to turn off auto renew. And I'm also going to throw Amazon Subscribe and Save on this part of the list because I am terrible at keeping up with it. And then I get a backlog of an item that I really didn't need, and it's shipped. There is one exception to this subscription box anyway, and that is our bark box. Our dogs love the toys and the treats. There is nothing that does not get used in those boxes, and we do auto ship for our dog food, but it never backs up because our dogs literally eat us out of house and home. Number 6. I stopped buying for convenience and try to use things I either already have or things I can make myself. A couple of examples of this is instead of buying already cut onions, I chop them myself. Instead of buying extra scrapers and spatulas for cooking, I use what I have and take 30 seconds to wash it if I need it for multiple things while cooking. Number 7. Which to some degree could be combined with number 6. I stopped buying multiple cleaners. I now use one all-purpose spray, vinegar, baking soda, Dawn, and my Method floor cleaner and furniture polisher. Gone are the days of buying degreasers, descalers, glass cleaners, granite cleaner, bathroom cleaner, wall cleaner. You get the idea, whatever. I get by just fine with the cleaners I have kept on hand, and I'm still working through my backlog, but not replacing as I run out. Number 8. No more overly complicated meal plans. Overly complicated meal plans means more groceries, less time spent with family, and more stress around meals. So what I did was I came up with a list of 35 budget-friendly and easy meals that I can make at home, and I rotate through those. I have to be honest, my family is just as happy if I make chili with baked potatoes as they are if I make chicken cordon bleu with wedge salads. Now meals take less time to prepare and can be prepared ahead of time if need be. Number 9. While I agree that we should be eating a healthy variety of foods, I have come to realize that trying to follow any one specific way of eating for us has had a very negative effect on our grocery budget for one, but also on my personal relationship with food. And I'm going to tread very lightly here because I can only speak for myself on this. I know I feel better on a low-carb diet. However, staying on a low-carb diet is nearly impossible for me. And what happens is I snap back in the opposite direction and eat in a very unhealthy way. And I realized I was bordering on disordered eating, and now I'm just working to eat healthy, but not a specific way. So no carnivore, vegan, low-fat, low-carb, keto. I'm not putting a label on it. Basically, I'm just eating realistically. I no longer eat with the goal to lose weight. Even though I am slowly losing, it's not my sole focus. And as my GP told me the other day, eat the dang cookie if you want the cookie. Not sure he literally meant eat cookies, but I mean, hey, who am I to argue with my doc, right? Number 10. I stopped buying food that I knew we would likely not eat just because I got it for free. And let me see if I can explain what I mean by this. For example, if I buy brand A cookies, I get brand A coffee for free. I would rather buy the coffee that we like and not buy cookies just to get free coffee, if that makes sense. I know that there are places that we could donate food to so the freebies could get donated, and we often do, but I no longer make a habit of utilizing these types of sales. Number 11, we stopped buying paper towels, paper plates, plastic cups, Starbucks cups, whatever. Unless we're having a party and specifically need paper goods, they don't come into our home. Now, this is just us. We have enough dishes for our family and a dishwasher, and if you still buy these, I mean, that's fine. Nothing against it. But for us, we were just becoming way too reliant on them. I mean, man, I feel like there is something on this list to offend everyone. So let's just take a moment and coming up, see how much money I pulled out of that drawer that I just finished. Okay, so we haven't even gotten to the decluttering the bathroom yet. This goes to my office. This goes to my husband, because that's his shoehorn and comb. I'm not really sure why I forgot it. Kids' room. So far, that's donating. I got rich with $6.01. Of course, trash. And then the rest of this all just goes to different parts of the house. So the books go to my office. The recipe book will go into the kitchen. The medicine stuff will go into the medicine cabinet. Hair stuff will go into, of course, to my bathroom sink. Some of that goes in Josh's baby memory box. I gotta sort through all of that. See if I've got mates, and if I don't, they're just gonna be gone. Water bottle I'm going to use to water my plants because, well, I don't really know how long it's been there, and I don't know why it was there, so it's just going to go to water plants. So, yep, let's move on to the bathroom. So now we're back to our list, and we are already at number 12. I stopped saying yes. I am naturally a people pleaser, so this one is a work in progress. But I was finding that I was trying to live up to some unrealistic expectations that I was putting on myself. I was trying to be like my mom and my sister, but they have a completely different personality than I do. I am perfectly happy being a hermit, as my mom likes to say, and she's not wrong. I mean, I do like social interactions on a limited basis. For example, my sister runs a huge scrapbooking group, and I love seeing everyone and catching up with them. But by the end of the night, I am so ready for calm and quiet. So, to help with having more realistic expectations, I have begun to not always say yes. Number 13, and this one was a hard one for me. I stopped the mindless Pinterest scrolling and now only go on Pinterest for a need. Now, this is very similar to like the wants versus needs on buying. So why I stopped this was because I realized that social media and Pinterest specifically was making me view my house as broken and always needing fixing. Now, I mean, for sure, there are some issues that are being addressed, but the mindless scrolling was causing discontent and an ungrateful heart. And I was feeling really conflicted about that because I do love our home and I am very grateful for our home. So now I go on Pinterest with a purpose, and since I turned off notifications, it's a lot easier to not get bogged down. I just remember that comparison is the thief of joy. Our home is beautiful and it meets all of our needs. The challenges it may have are cosmetic and can be easily remedied. Number 14. I deleted apps that rarely, if ever, get used off my phone. For example, I had the Taco Bell app on my phone. I understand I rarely, and I mean maybe 3 times a year, eat at Taco Bell. There's literally no reason to have the app on my phone taking up space. Number 15. I changed my personal email address. Remember at the very beginning when I said that I had a habit of subscribing to mailing lists. Yeah, my old email address has been bought and sold so many times, I will never be able to unsubscribe from everything or stop all the spam. So I changed my email address and only gave out my new one to like 5 people. So if it gets bought and sold, I'm going to know who did it. Which makes email really manageable, by the way. If I need to put down an email for something, I still use the old email address that I switched away from because it acts like a black hole. Nothing ever escapes from that mess because remember, 40,000 unread email and counting. Number 16. Okay, this one is actually in the process of being stopped. I'm in the process of switching us over to stainless steel cups for hot and cold drinks, and we take those with us instead of buying drinks while we're out running errands. Alongside that, I have stopped going to coffee shops to buy coffee unless I'm on a road trip. Now, speaking of coffee, number 17 on the list is I stopped buying fancy creamers and now use half and half along with sugar-free coffee syrups. It allows my husband and I to control the ingredients, sweetness, and to make our own recipes at home. It's always a fun surprise and surprisingly economical. Number 18 is something that on the surface may not seem like it has to do with simple living, but hear me out. I stopped the negative self-talk. You know, that little voice in our heads that tells us we aren't good enough or smart enough or accomplished enough. In my case, that not so little voice likes to tell me that I'm going to fail whatever I start. I mean, I'll probably fail at YouTube. I'm going to fail at keeping my home clean. I will definitely fail at decluttering. Whatever it is, I will fail. Once I realized how negatively I spoke to myself, I decided to speak to myself like I would speak to you all. You are amazing. Great job for trying something new. Hey, even if you have a setback, that does not mean you have failed. It is just an opportunity to regroup and try again. Number 19. I stopped the overly complicated cleaning routines. You know the ones I'm talking about, the ones that say on the 3rd Tuesday of the 9th moon when the sky is green, the wind is blowing out of the north-south, you need to clean your shower heads. Yeah, no. Now, I still deep clean, but it is no longer on a set schedule. It's when I have time in my schedule to dedicate to it. Other than that, as long as the kitchen is clean each night, bathrooms are wiped down, floors are swept, I'm good. Not having to follow a set routine has really taken the pressure off and allowed me to be more successful. No, don't get me wrong. My baseboards still need cleaned, but at least now I set aside the time to do it when I have it in my schedule and not because it's on someone else's timeline. If you still follow a schedule, you're great. You're golden. Number 20. I stopped wearing my Apple Watch every day. Rather, I stopped making a point to wear my Apple Watch every day. I don't care that my rings didn't get closed or that some telemarketing firm is calling me or I'm getting 300 texts. Just simply, I don't want to be connected 24/7 anymore. For me, personally, that is not slowing down and living more simply. That is stress-inducing. And speaking of being connected 24/7, number 21. I stopped watching, reading, or following the news. If it's something I absolutely need to know, I implicitly trust my husband to tell me. Other than that, I don't care what candidate said what to whom, who did what to whom, or what the overall narrative of the day is. Now, I'm still an informed voter. I know who's running, what they stand for, and I'll research their records to make my decision. But I'm not going to get involved and caught up in the constant mudslinging and character attacks. This probably won't be for most people, but it's just what I did to protect my peace. Number 22. I stopped using bottled water, or let me rephrase that. I drink far less bottled water, maybe one a week, and that's only if I'm going to be someplace that I need a bottle of water but can't have a reusable cup, kind of like a doctor's office or grocery shopping, where I do not dare to have a cup that someone can mess with because, I'm going to be honest, social media has made me paranoid. Number 23, we stopped eating out as a family. Now it is reserved for special occasions like birthdays or anniversaries. Now don't get me wrong, kiddo will still eat out if we're running errands and he gets hungry, but in general as a family, we've stopped this. And interestingly enough, our grocery bill has not increased, so that tells me I was overbuying groceries while we were still eating out. And last but not least, number 24, we stopped doing our own yard work. We have someone who mows, does the hedges, and all the lawn stuff. And you may be saying, but that's not how you save money. And you would be right. However, we're a busy family. My husband works 60 hours a week on average. We're a homeschooling family, and we didn't have time to keep up with everything. And while my husband would have gladly mowed the yard and done all of the things, I felt his time was better spent resting and decompressing from his job on the weekends rather than mowing the yard. In Southeast Texas, not only do we mow year-round, but yard maintenance is extensive. So because we were able to save in other areas, we can pay for yard service. And that, my friends, is my list of 24 things that we have stopped and or changed. Anyone do these as well? Any surprises on that list? Keep in mind that these are things that work for my family, and am in no way saying that you should not do these things. Everyone has to do what works for their family. Thank you again for hanging out with me today while I decluttered a couple of areas. Next week, we will be working in the master closet, the hall closet, and kiddo's bathroom vanity on a huge clean out. Okay, so the monetary value of the money in the bathroom turned out to be $6.27 for a grand total of $12.28.